everyone. Today we will be going over how to drive a stick shift, also known as a manual or a standard. It's not super common, especially in people my age, that they know how to drive a stick shift, so it's almost like a party trick as soon as anybody hears that you know how, and they want you to teach you. So I've taught a few people before and they're driving stick today, so obviously something works. This will be a very general beginner type lesson, very quick kind of overview. So I wouldn't take it straight on the highway. I'd give it a few tries and make sure that you know how to do it safely. So first, to start out, there are 3 pedals as opposed to an automatic that only has 2 pedals. And those look like those. So this is in a regular car, this is your gas, this is your brake, and then this third one is called a clutch. So in an automatic, the clutch isn't there because it's an automatic transmission. There's no need for a clutch. However, the benefit with a standard vehicle is that you have the power to control of when your car shifts. And so a lot of times you'll see in racing vehicles that they're stick, that way that they can control exactly how fast they're going, when they're changing gears, things like that. So since this car is a stick shift, in order for me to start the car, I have to push in the clutch all the way, and it's just a push start. So most cars, for push starts, you'd have to press the brake. This car, you have to press the clutch. So I'll show you what that looks like. So there's the push start, and as you see, when I push it, just the battery turns on, but then it lets you know that you need to push the clutch in as well. So you'd push it in right here, push start, and there she goes. Going into gears and shifting in between is something that you want to get really familiar with prior to taking it at higher speeds, but it's all generally the same. So as soon as you get down from going from neutral into first, it's the repetitive motion that continues throughout driving a stick. This is what we would call a manual. It's the stick. So right now it's a neutral and you can wiggle it a little bit. That lets you know that you are not in gear, you're just in neutral. If I were to stick it into first gear, I would have to have my foot all the way pressed to the clutch, go down, or not down, but over and up. That's first gear. Since we're in the driveway, I have to reverse. And on this particular car, there are 6 speeds. So first is 1, and then 2, and then the third gear is straight in the middle, up, 4th, over a bit is 5, down is 6, and then reverse is all the way over and down. So when you are going into gear and trying to get your car to move in the first place, you have to have the clutch all the way pushed in, and then in order for it to be able to move, you'll want to gradually push the gas down. And it's a very slow motion when you're starting out, especially when you're in first gear or trying to reverse. If you do it ever so slowly, you'll start to feel a little bit of a grab, and that's like the biting point of where the transmission starts to grab a hold of the throttle and you are able to move, the wheels start turning, you're in gear. It's a very slow motion, and it's like a give and a pull. So you press the clutch down all the way, and then you just lightly get off the clutch and slowly get into the gas to where then you're able to release the clutch and you're going. Okay, so now that we're out of the driveway, I'm going to go into first. That way we can start driving down the neighborhood. And so on here, it'll tell you where it's at. So I'm going to go all the way to the left and push up. Now I'm in first gear, and I can move forward. And just like I was saying before, I will start to feel this moment where the car is starting to give and attach to the throttle as I'm pressing it and releasing of the clutch. It's a very easy motion. So I'm very slowly, it almost feels like I'm not moving my feet at all. And then I'm slowly letting go of the clutch to where now I will listen for the car and feel it rev up. Typically that's around like 2,000 to 2,500 RPMs. So I'm gonna go ahead and shift, and it's the same thing. So I'm gonna press the clutch all the way down, hold directly down because that's in second gear. And then again, I'm using my feet and I'm slowly transitioning off of the clutch and onto the gas. Here's kind of another shot of what my feet look like as I'm getting into gear. So now I'm in first gear, on the gas a little bit, letting go of the clutch to where it grabs, and then it gets a lot looser. Okay, now I'm listening for the car. That's that high rev sound. That's where I want to clutch. So it goes all the way in, and again, letting go of the clutch ever so slightly until I feel that grab, and then I can continue going. and the gas pedal. Now that I'm slowing down, my clutch is all the way in, my foot's on the brake, and I'm downshifting. So going up, it'd be 1, 2, 3. Coming down, it is 3, 2, 1. You're starting out and learning how to drive stick. It's gonna feel like you're almost getting whiplash every time that you shift. It's an ease of the motion, and you'll get a lot more comfortable with it. You'll hear the car. You're gonna listen to those high revs, but as you're starting out, you can kind of pay attention to your gauges, and around the 2,000 and 2,500 mark is when you're gonna wanna push in the clutch and shift up. You can go higher than that. You can go ahead and redline your car. It's a lot harder on your car, can wear down your transmission and waste a lot of gas. So I've always learned, just listen for that spot where you hear that your car is like, okay, that's enough, and then you'll push in the clutch and you'll shift up. Or when you're going down, you can either pop it into neutral and just wait it out and go all the way down. Just make sure that you're starting back at 1 again, and you're at that speed that you would be in first gear, so like 10 to 15 miles per hour maximum. First gear is also where your car will stall, so as soon as you get going and you're at that high enough point, shifting into second gear, your car's a lot more comfortable. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of what that sweet spot that I keep talking about sounds like, I'm gonna let you hear it and hope that the vehicle doesn't, or my car, no, hope that my phone doesn't think that it's just background noise and try to minimize it. So here we go. So I'm in first. That's that sound. I'm gonna shift to second. I'm ready. That's that sound. Third. So that's really all there is to it. It's just counting from 1, 2, 3, and then going back down from 3 to 1 as you deaccelerate. And then just you're using both your legs almost the entire time. So you're pushing in the clutch, and then as you're getting on the gas, you're slowly releasing the clutch. So it's just an easy trade-off. If your car like dies or stalls, all you got to do is just turn the car off and back on again. And when that happens, it just means that you let go of the clutch too soon and you didn't give it enough gas for it to go. So it's not a big deal. A lot of people do it. Don't panic. Just make sure you're comfortable with what you're doing before you go out on main roads or highways.